Hi guys, I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I'd like to welcome you to the first episode or class on the introduction to web design by Wana Institute. The one that's going to be instructing this class is Emmanuel Ngwenya. I am a self-taught web developer, so all the things I'm going to be teaching in this episode are going to be based on my experience and expertise. So in today's thingy, we're just gonna be keeping things light, just introducing you to web design and its concepts. So please be on the lookout and enjoy. As mentioned, this is Module 1 by Wana Institute, Introduction to Web Design. Um, we are going to be covering five topics in this introduction series. Firstly, we're going to be taking a look at the history of websites, what is web design, the types of websites, and why do we need websites. And we're going to touch base on the tools that we're going to be using, or tools you need to have a website. Well, first things first, the main thing and the most important and fundamental aspect of this course is for us to understand what is website design, right? I'm sure you've heard of the name website or concept of a website. But in a nutshell, a website is something you can just go on your PC, cell phone, any mobile device you can find, and then you can just go to Google, and then that's it. That's a website. You found it, right? However, a website is a collection of interconnected web pages that are hosted on a web server and accessible via the internet. That sounds very, very deep, but we'll make sure that you guys do understand what it actually means. There is a case where you just go online, you open your phone and you go to Google, and then you type looking for a college. And then there's going to be a whole lot of results popping up, and if you click on the first result or any other result on that particular page, it's going to take you to a specific website. So it could be wana.co.za, it could be tnc.edu.za, it could be any sort of website. That on its own is a website. Trust me, you've used a website in so many cases and in so many ways. You might not realize it, but you have been using a website for a very long time. And then we're going to be looking at a history of websites, basically looking at how websites started and how websites have progressed and how websites are right now. So we're looking at the first website that was, um, you know, built. It was in 1990. It was built by Tim Berners-Lee. This is the first website that was built. It's just words. There was no styling. There was no pictures. It was just very, very simple and basic. And then we're looking at the early 2000s where websites were kind of getting stylish and kind of getting interesting. I'm not sure about being nice, but this is just a brief example where we've had websites that we're now starting to be, interactive. You can watch videos, you can see pictures in them. This is one of the basic examples we could find. So you can see it's nicely styled. It has pictures, it's got content, it has been aligned, navigation is here, you know, it is starting to look good. And then now it's the present years, the present times. Well, things have changed. Technologies have improved. As you can see, it looks nice, simple, and elegant. These are websites that you find nowadays where you can pretty much do anything. From buying online to making music to converting pictures to using ChatGPT. Those are the present websites that are very mobile friendly and user focused, making sure that you are able to use the website properly. Moving on, since now we understand what a website is, now we move on to a concept pretty much, similar to what a website is what is web design, right? Previously we spoke of what is a website. Now we're covering what web design is. Yeah, initially, web design is a process of building a website. Just to make it simple, right? It's a process of planning it, conceptualizing it, and dealing with visual aspects of the website, right? For example, sitting down with your team or alone, planning what the website is going to be having, what pictures are going to put on, what videos are going to be putting on, what FAQs are going to put on, how is the website going to look like, what's the color scheme of the website. This is what web design contains, right? A process of planning and creating the actual website itself. Right? Moving on, we've got quite a few key components of a website, right? There's quite a lot, but here we're just going to be covering the most important key components. The first one is layout. Whenever you're building a website, you need to understand the layout, right? How is it going to look like? What's where you're going to find what, where, and how. For example, here, the layout, the first thing you're going to be having is the logo, right? We decided to put the logo on the left side. It's the first thing that someone's gonna see. They're always gonna look to their left at the top top left corner. And then we've got a navigation here with a bunch of links just to navigate through the site. And then we've got a call to action on the far right. And then going down, we've got our search button here. So this is part of the key components of web design where you need to properly plan your layout, and it has to be coordinated in a way that is going to be easily understood by someone who's going to be using your website. And then the second point we're going to focus on is color scheme. It's very important to master the color scheme or let it make sense, right? You can't have a Coca-Cola website, for example, and then you put the color green on the website. It doesn't make sense because we all know that Coca-Cola is red. So it has to match with their brand or their logo. In this case, we've got the one hosting website. The color is basically black and blue, right? So meaning most of the site, we need to be using the colors black and blue, right? As you can see, the logo here is blue, and then we decided to have a blue banner that's going to be matching our logo, and then we've got a black text here that's going to be matching with our logo again, and then we've got one out of color aspect here, which is yellow. That's okay, it's still part of the color scheme, right? So we need to make sure that it matches the brand identity. And then we've got one of the most important aspects and my personal aspect. I feel like in anything we do, fonts are very important. They set the tone of how the website is going to feel and look like. So this is what we call typography. It's a concept of fonts and text styling. So how you decide to style your text in terms of how big it is, what's the color, what font are you going to be using. This is part of the key components that we are going to be discussing in this series of tutorials. And then last but not least, the user experience. That is very important. It's like it's like you in a certain province, for example, I'm in Gauteng, and you want to go to another province, right? Obviously, the first thing you're gonna do, you won't just jump into your car and go. You're gonna pull up your navigator and be like, hey, take me here. This is where I wanna go, right? This is what we call user experience, right? How easy is it to navigate around your website, right? People need to be able to know where to go to from each and every point. Hence why we've got a very big navigation here at the start of the website. If someone's looking for domains, this is where they're going to be clicking for hosting, for resellers, for websites. The navigation is at the top and is very clear. These are one of the most important components that need to be addressed on the website. Now, we've covered the basics of what web design is and the key components, right? Now we're going to be exploring pretty much the fun part of the series, which is the types of websites. And I'm thinking right now in my head, most probably you've got the types of websites you're thinking of right now, and they're most probably correct. There's quite a lot. Um, the first one we're going to cover is personal websites, right? We've got personal websites, websites where you can just it can be just be a portfolio, you displaying your skills, what you've done. It can be a resume, right? Or it can be services that you're offering as an individual, right? The second one is a business website. Well, a business website, it's basically a website that a business could be using, just to advertise their services, maybe offer their services online, or just showcase some of the work they're doing, or use it as a way to get clients online, right? That's what a business website is for. And then you've got educational websites, websites like Skillshare, websites where you can just go on online, enroll, and then have a course, learn a new skill. Those are educational websites, or websites that can be used by schools. And then we've got entertainment websites. Oof, that one is my personal favorite. We've got Netflix, you've got Showmax, you've got Amazon, you've got Apple TV. Those are entertainment websites, websites where you can just go online, watch some videos, watch some content, have fun, play games, gamble. Those are part of entertainment websites. It's one of the things you can be able to build as a website developer. And then we've got non-profit websites that are used by governments or organizations just to make an impact in our communities, by taking donations, educating us about courses. Basically, a lot could be done for non-profit websites, right? And then we've got e-commerce websites. I think this is booming right now. We've got Takealot that's, working nationwide. We've got Amazon, we've got Temu, we've got Shane. Those are kind of e-commerce websites where you can just set up your store without having an actual physical store. People can buy online from you. So with what we've just covered right now with the types of websites, these are all the websites you can build as a website developer, and they're all websites that are in high demand, especially now since we're in a digital era. Right. Then, since we've covered the types of websites, well, we kind of need to discuss the most important aspect here is, why do we need websites in the first place? Why would you just wake up and be like, hey, I'm looking for a website? That doesn't make sense. We need to cover now, why do we need websites? First point is the global reach, or can be a local reach, it doesn't matter. But having a website gives you more accessibility than any other tool you could imagine. Let's say, for example, you've got a small store in Tembisa, for example, or Soweto, right? You are just limited to the people who are actually nearby Soweto or Tembisa to come to your store and buy, right? Makes sense. But if you've got an online store, you've got access to literally the whole world. Anyone can buy from you, whether they're in China, in Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia. It doesn't matter. They can still buy from you. So you get to reach more customers, which stimulates growth, and flexibility. And then obviously credibility. This speaks to people trusting the internet for any source of information. Let's say you've got a website, you've got a business, and someone kinda is not sure if they should trust your business or not. They're just gonna go online and check you out. If they can't find you in Google and can't find any reviews, then they pretty much cannot trust you. But if they can find your website, read more about you and your business on your website, then that's gonna give them the confidence to come and buy from you or your store. And point number three is marketing, right? Obviously, when you're running ads online, you're gonna need a platform that's gonna accommodate all of your clients, whether for them to sign up or for them to, buy from you. They need some sort of website. So if you're running marketing or doing ads, you need to have a website so that people can come to your website to learn more or sign up, right? Accessibility. Come on, man. You can't open your store for 24 hours. They say it's a physical store. You can't open it for 24 hours. Who's going to be coming to buy at night unless if it's, a petrol station, that makes sense. But for any other shop or business, pretty much they can be open 24/7. But with a website, gives you access to that. Let's say you've got an online store. This means anyone can actually get to buy at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 12 a.m. you know it gives you the accessibility, gives people access to information and your services any time, right? And then we've got e-commerce stores, which is booming right now. So if you've got a business, you can just set up an e-commerce store, sell from your business, and sell on your business. Or if you can't afford to have a physical store, you can just open an e-commerce, which is going to be quick and easy, and then you start selling from there, right? That just makes things easy for you. So yeah, this is basically why you need a website. There's even more reasons you can think of. You can just add them here. And then we've discussed most of the things, but now one of the also crucial parts is the tools for website creation. We've got so many tools you could use to create websites, from coding, from using CMS solutions, which are content management systems like WordPress, Wix, SiteJet, Canva, and Squarespace. With those, you're just able to create a website without having to code or anything. It does not need you to have technical skills. But obviously, it has its own pros and cons in terms of using that. WordPress was mostly used for blogs, but now you can create stores and websites. But the process is a little bit complicated at first. It kind of needs you to practice. We've got Wix, which is very easy to use. We've got SiteJet, super easy. Canva, super easy. Squarespace, super easy. Photoshop, it's for graphic designers who design websites. That's kind of an advanced tool. And then we've got VS Code right here at the end, which is for coding purposes. So if you code, you're going to be using VS Code to create your website, right? So these are the tools you could be used. There's other tools and more tools that could be used, but these are the one of the most famous tools you could be using to create your website. But in our case, we're going to be using SiteChat. It's the one that we're going to be using in this series to create our websites, both online stores and just regular websites. Now, we've pretty much covered quite a lot of information, and whew, that has been quite a lot. We live in a world where websites have evolved from static pages to dynamic and interactive platforms. Web design combines creativity and technical skills to enhance user experiences. We've got various types of websites serving different needs, and we've got tools and design software to simplify the web development process. So in this series, we are going to be covering a lot of those aspects and what tools to use and how to use those tools in order for us to create, a beautiful, interactive, and most relevant and user experience or user friendly websites that people are going to love and they're going to make a great impact on your business or your customer's business. So I'd like to send a special thanks to Wana Serve and Wana Hosting for creating such an institute, which is Wana Institute, meant to provide digital skills of the future to people in South Africa and beyond. So yeah, if you've got any questions, please pose any questions. But if you're watching this from our Wana Institute, you've got a quiz that you need to complete. Complete the quiz so that you can move on to the next module. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time. Bye.